Hey folks, 3 guesses what character we're going to be looking at today, and the first 2 don't count. It's time once again to pop in on the world of the Four-Kolor Kitty. Bet you thought I was just going to appear in the chair again. Ha! But enough fooling around. Well, actually, perhaps not. You see, our topic this time around was suggested by my old friend and a viewer from YouTube, Bismarck1999. He writes, "You need to do one on Ambush Bug. He's my favorite cartoon hero of all time." Being a fan of the character myself, how can I resist? Let's take a look. Ambush Bug first appeared in December of 1982 in DC Comic Presents issue number 52. In that issue, Superman met up with the new Doom Patrol. The Doom Patrol is sort of the X-Men of the DC universe. They are a team of superheroes, but typically not the well-known A-list ones, and are usually viewed with suspicion from both the general public and other superheroes. However, that is for another episode. Now, for what would be considered a major source of comic relief, he starts out with a distinctly serious bit of villainy. He murders a district attorney. True, he starts by doing the old cover his eyes bits, but then he simply pushes the old fellow to his death. He then vanishes, leaving the onlookers stunned. You know, if they had gone another way with the character, we could have had another Joker in the making. He was off to a good start. Later, at a parade, he reappears to let everyone know just who he is and what his plan is. To be a supervillain. Why? Because he wants to. No other reason. He uses his power of teleportation quite well, confusing and confounding the heroes. That is, until Superman figures out a secret behind how Ambush Bug teleports. He uses little robotic bugs as target points, switching places with them when he teleports. So, the Man of Steel rounds up all his robo-bugs and smashes them, leaving AB with no place to go. Of course, he does this just when the bug could use an escape route. He ends up in jail, and shows what is one of the few images of AB without his costume on. Not a bad introduction for a new character. In this first outing, he seems more devil-may-care than loopy. He would, however, be shown as more of the lunatic we would know and love later. His next appearance was about 7 months later in DC Comic Presents number 59. This is quite possibly one of my favorite fun comics, and what I would consider really the defining of Ambush Bug's loony personality. It starts with our little lunatic spotting his favorite playmate Superman flying off. So, what does he do? Teleport onto his back for a round of Guess Who, of course! You thought tugging on his cape was a bad idea. Unfortunately, he chose to do so just as Superman was breaking the time barrier to go to the 30th century. And when I say unfortunately, I mean for Superman in the 30th century. Now, to be fair, normally this would not be such a problem. As you recall, the 30th century is the home of the Legion of Superheroes. They would be able to hold an Ambush Bug for Superman. However, they apparently aren't available, so he has to turn to the Legion of Substitute Heroes. Again, they are a whole nother show. But to sum it up, these are the folks that didn't make the cut for the Legion of Superheroes. Of course, the Ambush Bug gets away and starts causing chaos and basically running amok. As the Substitute Heroes try to rein in the bug, they also have one additional problem. You see, Superman's secret identity isn't so secret in the 30th century, where they have a nice big museum in tribute to the last son of Krypton. So, not only do they have to try and get a handle on the bug, they have to try and do it before he catches on that Superman is also Clark Kent. In addition to the general wackiness of the issue, it also lets us know where AB gets all the bugs that he's been using to teleport around the 30th century. He stores the extras in his antennae. The green goofball pops up next in Supergirl number 16. There he uses his teleporting powers to escape during a prison transfer. He finds himself in Chicago, where he decides to start a new career as a superhero. I suppose he thought it would be more fun. Ambush Bug, in a move that is incredibly sensible for him, starts with small criminals. Really small. His first is a litter bug, which he promptly decks. This is followed by him tying up someone smoking in a non-smoking elevator. Well, not exactly a great start, but not the worst I've seen either. It goes downhill, though, when he spots Supergirl. However, the teleporting twit thinks it is Superman who has been transformed and has had his memory altered by something. To his credit, Ambush Bug vows to return his buddy to normal. After trying to help Supergirl in his own flawed way, Supergirl stops the bug with, of all things, a pair of boxing gloves. She also stops a real villain, and we find out that the Ambush Bug can be more perceptive than most folks, as he figures out Supergirl's secret identity when he sees her in her civilian attire. In Action Comics number 560, we find that Ambush Bug, somehow, has been released from Arkham Asylum and set up shop as an enterprising superhero. This has Superman distracted, concerned about what the Ambush Bug is going to do next, while the Ambush Bug arrests a car and then dubs himself the Amazing Ginzu, and claims he will kill himself in his 6th episode. Clark Kent suggests he does it in his 1st episode. You know someone has the power to annoy beyond those of mortal men when you get Superman to suggest you drop dead. 3 issues later, when Ambush Bug reappears and attempts to repair one of his mini-bugs, it explodes and turns his suit black. After a quick shout-out to a Marvel miniseries, AB cleverly disguises himself in a horse costume to go seek help. Superman finds him and then has to listen to the bug give what he says is his origin story. A very familiar origin story. The accident also changes the way his powers work. No longer does he need those little robot bugs. He can now teleport whenever he wants. Then, in issue 565, as a marketing agent shows various ways to re-image Ambush Bug for better sales, the bug himself pops around the DC universe trying to convince various heroes to guest star in his upcoming miniseries. As you can expect, he isn't getting many takers.